Richmond Raceway, it's America's action track, and it's the host for race number 9 in the 2026 UIS Cup Series schedule. Welcome back to the Saturday night action that has now come to our screens a few times here on FTN. For the first time, however, this year, the Precision Speed Solutions Cup Series heads down to Virginia for a 200-lap thriller. Welcome to coverage live on FTN Broadcasting. I'll be your host for tonight's event. Qualifying is on the way, and with a minute and 16 seconds remaining, 17 of our 26 hopeful drivers have taken at least one lap, and they're getting themselves ready for an action-packed night of 200 laps, 150 miles worth of racing. At the top of the board right now is Max Ford by 8/1000ths of a second. He has the top spot over Zach Trevino, Logan Brink, and Axel Smith. Still, some drivers set to take times and others remaining on the track. Christian Zarate heading right down to pit road. DJ Lyons still there. And a fair majority, or a fair portion, of the guys at the back of the field chosen not to take times. Lyon and Zarate, the only drivers left on the track. That's going to leave us with close to 10 drivers choosing not to take one time. Max Ford is set to grab the provisional pole position and make it his. He'll get it up to the top of the board with Trevino second and Logan Brink then in P3. Max Ford, so far this season, one pole position on the catalog. He has yet to win a race, however. This could be a big night for that number 11 team as Max Ford gets himself up to the top of the charts. Pole sitter for tonight. He's got 200 laps ahead of him, but he will start on top. Introducing driver number 11, Max Ford. He'll grab the pole as it is now time for your starting lineup to come together. Starting grid is set. Ford will be your leader. There's Chris Parker in the number 20. Parker, one of the first drivers to get on the racetrack. He will be starting today in 8th. Trevino is on the outside pole, driver the number 16. He finds himself the championship leader by 37 points. He's run all 8 races so far this season. He's got the points advantage, and he'll have a great qualifying position to benefit from it. Now, with that being said, it's time to go to your starting lineup and learn who's who. At the top of the board, it'll be Max Ford, driver number 11, with a 20.954 run. He'll take the pole position. Next from there, Zach Trevino. Trevino goes P2 with Logan Brink third and Axel Smith fourth position. Trevino is looking for what would be his league-leading third win of the season. He will continue fighting for that accolade. He is head-to-head right now at Finnegan Myers, trying to take that lead of the wins category. Kendorian Davis wraps up the top 5 in the car number 5. Tyler Helms goes 7th in that number 7 machine. As a matter of fact, he jumps up one position at the end of qualifying. He makes it up to 6th. 7th place, Jackson Brown. It'll be the number 20. 8th, Chris Parker. And Asher Bunkley in the 79 goes 9th. Travis Prather wraps up the top 10 as Nicholas Martinez. We saw him win on FTN last month. He got the job done in dramatic fashion in Atlanta. He'll start today. Driver number 48 in the 11th position. Damian Cisneros wraps up the first dozen with 13th place being William Johnston. Alexander Alvarez then just after him, P14. Maxwell Funderburg, Christian Zarate, the final drivers to take times. Then DJ Lyon, the last of all, 17th. As he lines up on the starting grid alongside Wyatt Thompson, who begins today's race in 18th. JJ Moore will then go 19th with Aaron Kovnat, then P20. 21st will be Connor Blasco and Joseph Enright. Right after that, the 07 is 22nd. Carmelo Echeverria, 23rd. Calvin Harvey, 24th. Jose Aguilar Lopez is after that. He'll start today in 25th with Jacob Bryant, the last driver on the starting lineup. That is driver number 95 in the 26th position. Qualifying lineup is set, 26 drivers. And Max Ford grabs his second pole position of the season. He will lead the way in that Toyota Camry. One to green this time by Max Ford. Finds himself up and ahead. He's got a big advantage that always comes up at these short tracks, starting at the front of the field. Expecting some chaos tonight, the keys to strategy will be dependent on how long we go green. Drivers will have enough fuel on one load to go about quarter of this race. We're going to expect to see 3 pit stops with a 75% fuel cap. Tonight will take a lot of stops. Very likely we see yellow flags, and strategy won't be that easy to cut up if it's green, but pit stops will be the name of the game. Watch out if we see any other cautions. That could cause further trouble. Track conditions tonight from the Richmond Raceway. Things to note, ambient temperature is in the 70s and the early 80s. We've seen it go back and forth, but right now it sits at a comfortable 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature, not much warmer, 79 degrees with minimal wind. It is about the perfect conditions for drivers to push to the limit. Five extra sets for all drivers available. So they have 6 sets in total, 75% fuel cap, and the perfect weather to push to the limit. Welcome back to Richmond, Virginia. We are now set to go 1 lap to green as an end-of-line penalty was given to driver number 7, Tyler Helms. That was cleared immediately, as it looks like that was a mistake. On the admin side, he will remain in his 6th place starting position. Max Ford will do the honors. For Max Ford, he's already in the championship running. For Zach Trevino, he's now looking to stretch his championship advantage over the rest of the field. Jacob Bryant and Connor Blasco are on the playoff bubble today. Bryant starts 26th, Blasco 21st. Watch out for their battle and the rest of the field as 26 drivers come to the green flag in Richmond. It's a rapid start for points leader Zach Trevino. Trevino leads the way into 1 and 2. We are green from Richmond. It is a field double file, front and back. Yellow flag, lap 1, driver 41 goes around. That is William Johnson. We are pacing. Nobody involved besides Johnson. The field gets away. And pulling it immediately back to watch that first lap for Johnson. The caution is out. William Johnson was side by side with Martinez. Nicholas Martinez got to his outside and stayed there. Also coming around was Damian Cisneros, 3 wide behind, but Johnson loose off exit and alone. He gets away from everyone. And the only damage he'll have is a scuffed set of Goodyear tire. He'll be good to continue. Lap 1, first caution, William Johnson in the number 41. With Zach Trevino leading, the points leader gets the full-fledged advantage. And for the first time tonight, he is in control. Only took him a few feet on the rollout. And with an early caution, he's got the advantage over the rest of the field. Good place to be in, of course, first. Max Ford doesn't fall too far behind. The top 10 stays largely in one piece. Bigger movements from some guys like Axel Smith gaining a spot. And 2 spots down, Jackson Brown sacrifices a little bit. So it's a bit of a back and forth early on. But no clear-cut changes in terms of the lineup. Most drivers, relatively speaking, are where they started, except for Johnson, of course. Johnson finding himself with the first caution of the day. He was the only driver involved, and the cause was real quick. Coming to one lap to green next time by, we will restart at lap 7. Zach Trevino, your leader. No other drivers involved in that last incident with William Johnson. We'll see if anyone decided to go down to pit road this time by. Looks like, as we look through the field, a sea of drivers who chose not to. Enright, Johnson, Wilkin, Joseph Enright, William Johnson, and Trenton Wilkin, the 27th and final starter who came onto the field late, are all with us. Wilkin, starting from pit road, he was just waved around the pace car. So he will begin his race a lap down, but will now have a chance to get back with the pack. '27 will be on the lead lap, and even though there was a caution, there will actually be more drivers on the lead lap for this restart than there were for the race start. Trenton Wilkin given a shot to stay with the leaders here. We'll see what he can do with it. This restart is for Zach Trevino. As he gets away on the outside, he pulls a full car length. Trevino chooses high. Logan Brink will follow. We're on our way for restart number 1. Yellow flag. It's the second of the night. Now that was fast. Trenton Wilkin and company are just pulling up to the scene. We're going to pull it back a lap and show you what happened. As way up the track, the driver, the 97, Maxwell Funderburk. Here's how it happened. Funderburk was 3 wide, got some contact from Wyatt Thompson, and slams the outside wall on an overcorrection from inside the cockpit. Funderburk around and the caution's out. Zach Trevino remains your leader. He got a great jump on the outside, and Logan Brink was very close, taking second. Just wasn't quite able to do it. Coming across for lap number 10, the double digits have already arrived, but they've come with a lot of problems so far. Now, 200 laps at Richmond can be a very, very long affair. We've seen some races on FTN start in the 9s and go toward the next day, go toward midnight. That's happened only once before, but other times we've seen races of this length go at about 60 or 75 minutes at the absolute most. It depends entirely on how many cautions we have, but already we would be on pace for 40 cautions if this average of 1 every 5 laps were to continue. Very likely it doesn't, so I don't think anyone in the field has too much reason to be worried yet. But not a strong start, albeit 2 small 1-car incidents. That time around, it was not William Johnson, but instead Maxwell Funderburk, who feels the most of it and drops 2 laps down. Motor's blown, and no fast repair to save him just yet. 26 are back on the lead lap, as Trenton Wilkin is now with the field, finding himself 26th. Field is set to go green this time. Zach Trevino again will be in control. This time, right behind him is Axel Smith. Logan Brink able to move up. Now he'll be on the inside, but that might be a disadvantage. Trevino gets it going again. Great restart for him. Brink much slower. Restart number 2. Watch the midfield. Let's hope we stay a lap under green. The answer is yes, we do. It was close. It was very close out of turn 4, you saw there. In the hornet's nest of the field, you got guys like DJ Lyon, Alexander Alvarez all jockeying for position, but everyone gets away, and now is finally a chance to get into a bit of a rhythm and try to run longer. It is side by side across much of the field. Asher Bunkley now dives to the inside. Right now, he's with Logan Brink. Brink falls back to 5th after a poor restart, but is still in the upper echelon of the field. He just hasn't quite gotten everything out of the car yet after squealing out to a poor jump that time by. Zach Trevino is in control. And as we finally get our first green flag run of the day, he looks as confident as ever. Connor Blasco has his eyes on keeping ahead of Jacob Bryant. Bryant, with a poor start to the day, now finds himself in 26th. Again, Bryant is the first driver, 1 point, or rather, he's under the cut line, but he's tied in points with Connor Blasco. The reason is he would lose the tiebreaker on statistics. So far, 3 top 10s for Connor, none for Jacob, so he is just outside of the playoff picture. He'll need a much better run tonight in the Carl Edwards Scott's number 95 if he wants to get above the cut line, but it's not the end-all be-all just yet. Either way, Connor runs in 21st and maintains a position, or a few positions, ahead of his closest rival. They both have to worry about Logan Brink, though, because Brink is 1 point under the cut line and is outrunning them both tremendously so far. Logan is in 5th, and he kept 5th. You saw he was getting challenged for it before, but he was able to hang on. Axel Smith in the number 26 here. Runs down the back straight and gets closer and closer to Max Ford. That time by, the gap cut to 0.7 of a second between he and leader Trevino. More importantly, he's trying to get Max for that spot. Ford, your pole sitter, has only dropped 1 position. Trevino got him on the opening start of the race and has led ever since that point. Top 5 guys are separated by 2.5. And then from there, you would have to look a little bit further behind to find the rest of the field. Top 10 is now separate by 4.3 seconds. Oh, close there between Cisneros and Wyatt Thompson. Thompson gets a better jump. He will roll out of the corner as the Fast Cash Racing 99 of Christian Zarate drops to the inside. Zarate is toe-to-toe now with Jackson Brown. Brown, the Canadian driver, moves high, and he will fall 1 position. Trying to get it back on Zarate again. This is for 13th as they're toe-to-toe out of the final corner. Richmond allows for the top, middle, and the bottom to all be competitive racing lines, and so it is not a surprise that Christian Zarate is able to get that spot back, but also that Jackson Brown can keep fighting. Now they're coming up on Damian Cisneros in the 71, and they will make their move right by him. 23 laps in, out of 200. Christian Zarate now has more competition. J.J. Moore gets into the frame. No fight for the lead. If there are any updates, we will let you know, but at this point, it is all the mid-pack. There's the 77 of Alvarez and the similarly colored Damian Cisneros McDonald's machine. 71. To the inside goes Carmelo Echeverria. All the while, Cal-Off-Dice Racing's Aaron Cobnott is stuck in the mix. He's got multiple drivers to work with today. It is a 3-car fleet. Tyler, of course, one of their drivers to watch out for. We'll talk more about him in the race going on. Asher Bunkley as well. At the front of the field, Cobnott hasn't found himself yet. Jose Aguilar Lopez coming up on Echeverria. Damian Cisneros getting run up the track. Tyler Helms leading the pack for KDR. As we mentioned him, he currently runs in 4th. Now with a 75% fuel cap for these drivers, they can only go about 75 miles. So doing the calculations, these drivers can go about 50% of the race distance if they fully stretch out their fuel load. It's more likely that they go in smaller bits if we have cautions, but if we don't, a 100-lap run is, in theory, possible. First stage break of the day will be lap 50, so we will have a caution soon enough to stop the action. Zach Trevino and Max Ford are first and second. They are only separate by 4/10. The gaps between them have hardly changed over the course of this run. Chris Parker, Wyatt Thompson, Travis Prather, Nicholas Martinez, the drivers at the bottom portion of the top 10. Now Martinez already has himself victory to fall back on. As a matter of fact, so far this season, he's got 2. Doesn't have a pole position just yet, but the other numbers stack up well for him. 4 top 5 finishes, which is tied for 4th in the series so far. If you want to know who has the most top 10s, well, take a look at your leader. Zach Trevino has not finished outside of the top 10 once so far this season. He has the most starts, and with that, he has the most top 10s, and with that, he has the best average finish. The only thing is, behind him, Finnegan Myers has the most top 5s with 5. However, Myers has only made 6 races and is not with us tonight, so Trevino gets the chance to really stat pad himself and put himself back up into consideration, not only for the most top 5s, but also for the most wins. Myers, with 6 starts, has won 3. With 8 so far, Trevino has won 2. This could be his 3rd, but right now, Max Ford is all over him, and your pole sitter clearly knows he's got the stuff. Ford looks a little lower, but does not go for a pass. In the meanwhile, to the inside goes J.J. Moore on Travis Prather. This is for 11th, and it's an easy open and shut pass. J.J. Moore will get there, will clear, and he's got the advantage. Aaron Kovnat, Carmelo Echeverria, and Jose Aguilar Lopez all around one another. It's side by side between driver number 10 and 23. Alexander Alvarez now sets himself up in the middle to look after Trenton Wilkin. Wilkin didn't even start this race with the rest of the field. He started off a pit road and had to make his way back up. And yet here he is now. He finds himself running 10 spots higher than where he was on the grid, and he started the day 1 lap down, so he has gone from all the way in the back to the mid-pack fight. Not going to be an easy night for Trenton. Again, he got himself no practice time, wasn't able to put a qualifying time down, but he is in the field. So this first stage is going to act for him like a little bit of practice. He's got a few more laps until it comes to an end at the end of lap 50. But he's making moves, and not only that, he looks to be a little bit quicker than the drivers he's around. Wilkin around Aaron Kovnat. Last time by, he was in 18th. This time by, he gets up to 16th. Trenton Wilkin might be able to put in a good showing tonight. He's got the early signs of being one of the stronger guys in the field. Zach Trevino still holds forward while J.J. Moore gets by another Chris Parker. Moore is now knocking on the door of 9th place Asher Bunkley. So far, Helms and Bunkley have far outrun their teammate Aaron Kovnat. A little bit of a surprise. We have seen Kovnat run very strong at Richmond before, but so far he has absolutely nothing figured out, it appears. Bunkley is in the 10th position. By all means, having a strong run while Tyler Helms holds down the fort for the KDR guys. Precision Setup Shop sponsoring that machine. Tyler Helms holds 4th. Logan Brink is in 5th. Wyatt Thompson then 6th. And that's where the big gap is. From Brink, Wyatt Thompson, more than a second and a half. And the field already starting to separate itself a huge amount. Chris Parker watching as Travis Prather goes by Asher Bunkley. J.J. Moore, already having done the work, comes up next on Nicholas Martinez. Martinez qualified in the 11th position today, not exactly his standard. At the line, he gets up to 7th, which is a race high for the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse, number 48. Flagship guy for Paintbrush Racing in this series. He'll make a move again. But he slides up, and it looks like a very good setup from outside line driver Kendorian Davis. Keeps it dead even. Davis does not have it easy. He's being run up the track, mainly just because Martinez has the better inside line. He's going to have to back off. Gives a little bit of a bumper now to the 48. Gets there. Nearly makes more contact. Can't quite find the groove. He'll fall back again. Travis Prather has not yet gotten up to J.J. Moore. But here's one thing to note. Moore still can make up to 2 passes before this stage is over. Here's the first attempt he'll have on the first driver on his list, Kendorian Davis. Davis will come across the line now in the 9th position as J.J. Moore gets him. That's going to give enough time for Nicholas Martinez to break away. Advantage Martinez. Just a few laps to go. .46 laps in out of 200. Coming to 5 remaining on the stage. It'll be Zach Trevino, driver of the number 16 MGM Chevrolet, looking to lead every lap so far in the stage. He's already got the bonus points accumulated for that. And then he'll take a stage win. Three remaining in the stage. Caution will come out at the end of lap number 50. Top 10 has pretty much settled itself in. Calvin Harvey in the number 90 here watches as he gets to Trenton Wilkin. Wilkin has gotten up to his race high 15th place, but it appears Harvey a little bit faster. He'll get a spot right back. Trevino coming now to lap number 50. Final time around, and he will seal the deal and collect himself a stage win. Pit lane is now closed. The pits unavailable until the caution, the final lap of stage 1. Zach Trevino with a dominant performance. Thompson going side by side for a position in a 3 and 4, but at the line, Trevino leads every lap. He wins the stage. Wyatt Thompson gets just ahead of Axel Smith. Takes 4th in the stage. Trevino is your stage winner. It will be his first stage win of the season. And in dominant fashion, your points leader locks it down through the first 50 laps. A great performance there for Zach Trevino. He's now got some 150 miles, or rather 150 laps to go. Everyone down to pit road. It'll be Zach Trevino, Max Ford, Logan Brink, the top 3 drivers all making their way down and in. iRacing pace car watches them by. And we're now going to see who is the first driver to get out of this one. Trevino's got the advantage, and he's most likely to do it. But he won't. Take a look at that. And an upset off of pit road. Zach Trevino is the second man out. He'll be beat out. All drivers will be beat out by Calvin Harvey. Harvey's going to go back to pit road. Looks like he made a mistake. Still, Max Ford leads Zach Trevino, then Logan Brink. After that, you'll have Tyler Helms. He gets himself right through. Immediately following him, Axel Smith, Nicholas Martinez, J.J. Moore. Last in the top 10 is Condorian Davis. That'll change as Travis Prater is now up to 10th. And what looked to be an upset changes quickly. A mistake made by one driver, falling all the way to the back of the field. Pit road not particularly busy anymore. And you'll see now it's practically a ghost town as Max Ford regains control of this race and will actually lead his first laps of the day. Started the race on the pole position, but it took him 50 plus laps to finally get back on top. Dead Man Walking Racing, Zachary Trevino has been the dominant driver today. Now, he'll have to go head-to-head again with Ford, who's with 2311 Racing, a two-car team tonight. Echeverria, the other driver in the 23. Pretty fitting, just the 23 and the 11 together for that crew. Max Ford back on top. We'll see what he can do with it this time by. Last time he was the leader, he was outclassed on the start. That won't happen again. Welcome to stage 2. If at first you don't succeed, it's going to be Max Ford learning his lesson, and now Trevino's got a lot more pressure. That's Wyatt Thompson all over him as the caution's out. Yellow flag, fourth of the day. One driver, William Johnson. This will be the second time Johnson is involved in one. At the start of stage 1, on the first lap, he went into the grass. And this might be a picture-perfect replica of that first incident. The exact same incident, 57 laps apart, and for Johnson, his day is done. He will retire and back out of the car. Unfortunately, that's the same spin around that we saw at the start of the race. And just like the beginning, stage 2 starts with a lap 1 caution. Yellow flag is out. It is now lap number 59. Max Ford and Zach Trevino still on the front row. They've been top 2 basically the entire race. But this time around, Max Ford a lot better off the launch. That's going to be the only thing that's his saving grace on this longer run, if we get one. As it still does appear Trevino has slightly better, slightly quicker race pace. We'll see now what happens as the field gets ready to roll. Restart expected at lap number 62. Axel Smith got a little bit of right side damage coming to the end of stage 1. Doesn't look like it's either bad enough to be noticed or that it got repaired on pit road quickly. So he should be just fine to race on to the head of the pack. Everyone's double file now. Max Ford strongly beats out Zach Trevino last time around, but I'm wondering, does Trevino now get his revenge and try a little bit harder on the jump? We're set to find out what's going to happen here. Green flag once again for the second time in stage 2, but Zach Trevino cannot hold a candle. It's not even close. It's all Max Ford in the 1 and 2 again. Trevino takes second, and Logan Brink goes high for third. Oh, around is Tyler Helms. He backs into the wall, but he should be fine. Caution. Helms was behind and looks like just got loose on his own. Spins out, nobody touches him, and he backs into the wall. I'm wondering if he could have avoided it fully. We'll get another look from a higher angle here. He goes through the first set of corners. Yeah, no, he just got loose on his own, overcorrected. Luckily avoided J.J. Moore as he went up high and saved himself. Helms will continue on. Got some stage points to fall back on the day, but not at all good for the man who's 4th in the championship standings. He still has a chance to leapfrog Finnegan Myers and Alexander Ortega in the points today, with Max Ford just behind him in points and far ahead of him now on the racetrack. They may be battling each other for 3rd and 4th in the championship points without even knowing it yet. Two laps to green. We will restart at lap 67. Brenton Wilkin is inside the top 10. Remember, he started this race 1 lap down and in 28th. Biggest mover of the day by a long shot. However, now we have 3 drivers in the top 10 who qualified outside the top 15. Christian Zarate, 16th to 7th. J.J. Moore, 19th to 6th. And 18th to 4th is Wyatt Thompson. One to green again. DJ Lyon will be given an end-of-line penalty, and the 00 will drop to the tail. He'll be alongside the 7 of Tyler Helms. 25 drivers now racing. And they're all on the lead lap. Johnson, Funderburk, and race control Chase George are the only drivers who are not on the track now. Max Ford is a machine on those jumps. I tell you what, he's got it again. 3 restarts in stage 2, and he is on top of things. He's a car length out on Max Ford. That's Zach Trevino. Then, side by side for 3rd again. Logan Brink might be the second best driver on the restart so far. Now, I say that because he's gained a lot, especially when he's in control of where he wants to be. Right now, looks like he's got a shot to stick himself into the top 5 conversation and keep it there. But watch closely. Nicholas Martinez also coming through. Contact, shoving, airs one in the wall. Up top, Jose Aguilar Lopez. Yellow flag is out. Aguilar with another Stage 2 incident. Take a look at this. Lopez is now 25th after drawing a nudge. No! He was alone and spun. Another incident the exact same way we've seen it before, where drivers get loose and spin out on their own volition. Take a look inside the cockpit here. Loose out of 4 has been the deadliest of circumstances today. A majority of the field will get away from it with minimal issues, if not they're outright unscathed, and some head down to pit road, including Jacob Bryant, Jose Aguilar Lopez, Joseph Enright, Jackson Brown, and Nicholas Martinez, leaving Tyler Helms in now the 20th position. Make that 19th. We'll be heading to the green flag next time by for lap number 73. Perhaps the biggest worry of this field, as the caution is extended one extra lap, is that the yellow flags just keep coming after one another. After the first 2 in Stage 1, we were able to get away and get a long green flag stretch that got us all the way to the end of the stage, but it appears now that the field has been regrouped that maybe it won't be as easy to go the rest of the way. Of course, that's what everyone hoping not to see. But with all the aggression that we've seen to this point, very likely we see more cautions before the 100 lap marker, and definitely before the checkered flag. Some drivers have gone down for their 3rd stop, some on their 2nd, a majority of the field just banking on that Stage 1 pit stop, getting ready to go again. One to green this time by Max Ford and Zach Trevino will lead the double file lineup as we head back to business again. Again, hard to beat. Max Ford gets the launch. We're back on our way at lap number 74. And it's toe-to-toe for 2nd, Logan Brink. Now on the outside and firm on Zach Trevino. Caution's out again. Just as soon as we got started. Driver the 71, Damian Cisneros, and Tyler Helms both slide. But amazingly, I think everyone avoided them. Maybe Helms got contact just a bit. Here's a look. Was Helms hit on the way? Joseph Enright might have gotten a piece of him, but a very small one. So it will be Enright, Helms, and Damian Cisneros involved. Here's a look on board. Enright definitely made contact, but little to no damage, and he will continue on. Rookie in the 0-7. It's back up to the back of the field. And it'll be Max Ford leading the way. Zach Trevino second. Logan Brink still third. Trenton Wilkin, by the way, is in fifth. So the 17, who started all the way at the back of the field, has been confident enough to make his way here. Trenton so far has only raced 5 events to this point with 2 top 10s and 27 laps led. If he were to finish in 5th, it would be his best of the season. And of course, it would be his 3rd top 10, as he is slowly but surely getting into playoff consideration. As it stands, he is only 9 points away from the cut line. So he very clearly could get ahead of a driver like Jacob Bryant today. He is right now the only driver in the top 10 who qualified outside of the top 20. That may change if Connor Blasco gets up there. Connor finds himself in 11th after starting 21st. Max Ford will restart on the high side here, as the leaders have all preferred to do so far. We'll get the ball rolling for lap number 79. .24 on the lead lap. Jose Aguilar is off the racetrack, so it only leaves us with those 24 racing. Nicholas Martinez got a little bit of sideswipe action from the previous caution, and now just got up to the lead lappers. He'll start at the tail end as again Max Ford gets us going. Lap 79, we're back on the way. Logan Brink, toe-to-toe now with Axel Smith. And here comes Trenton Wilkin again. Side by side, Wilkin trying to peek a nose in. Can't quite get there. They're still 2x2 off the corner. This is the closest battle in the top 10. It appears everyone else has gone single file. Finally, in a chance to get a rhythm going, Tyler Helms takes it to the inside. He tries to get by Nicholas Martinez. Both he and Martinez were front runners who have been shuffled to the back. Helms, 1 lap down, really doesn't have any choice right now. He'll have to wait back there. In the case of an incident, he would be the lucky dog. To the inside, Asher Buckley on Alexander Alvarez. Alvarez is remarkably close to losing that spot, and now he has. Asher Buckley takes it. Drives into turns 3 and 4 with some defensive driving, pulls it to the inside and parks it there. Now gets off the corner with speed. Now when we say he pulls it there and parks it there, we don't mean he dead stops the car, but he clearly got himself down to the inside and made sure there was no way to move him. .98 of Blasco. That's just below Travis Prather. It appears now that Connor has little else to do but stay on the inside. He's got the advantageous position. If he wants to pass, just wait. Caution's out. Yellow for a front runner. It's Logan Brink. Big Big wreck for the 24, who was running in the top 10 at the time of the caution. Bad news. Watch this. Just a nudge from Trenton Wilkin, and a hard nudge at that shoots him deep into 3, and he's wrecked out. Horrible for Brink, who's been having a fantastic race so far. Logan comes into this race 14th in the championship, just under the playoff cut line, and gets obliterated. The motor's blown. I think his night is all but over. He can stay on pit road for a little while here, but it's going to take a long time to get back on the track. And the best he can do is settle for 24th currently. We'll see if he chooses to keep racing, but a horrible break for Logan Brink. $87 laps in out of 200. Max Ford has been indomitable on this last run. Proves that track position is everything, and that's why Trevino played it so hard into the opening laps to get the race lead. And while I'm sure he hasn't settled yet, he really hasn't had much an opportunity to go side by side and race for a position. 11 of Max Ford held the lead now for the past 30 plus laps. Very little issue in doing so. Now, only one stage break will be assigned for the day. We've already passed it. So we gotta wonder, can we get back into that racing rhythm? I wonder what this race would have been like if we didn't have that forced lap 50 caution. As it stands, they're double file, heading for restart at 90. Two by two, Ford, Trevino, Thompson, Axel Smith are the headlining drivers. Fifth place is Christian Zarate, with J.J. Moore 6th, Kendorian Davis 7th, and Aaron Kovnat now leading his team for the first time tonight in 8th. Asher Bunkley right alongside in P9. Green flags out, big staggered start. The inside got away much better. Max Ford sees Wyatt Thompson now taking second place. It is side by side between Zach Trevino and Wyatt Thompson as they cross the line again. Now, for the first time all night long, Trevino is in third, the lowest place he has been in throughout the day. Caution is out again. Taking a look back at what caused it, and you'll see Jackson Brown goes around. Taking a look at Brown, it looks like another case of loose off of turn 4. And here we will get some confirmation. Logan Brink will disconnect for the night, but no, it was contact that time by, as Jackson Brown was tagged but briefly, and it appears that touch came from DJ Lyon. Just a touch between he and Lyon. Yellow flag is out. For the first time today, it's actually contact out of turn 4, rather than one driver getting loose. Yellow flag is out at lap number 93. We are pacing once again. Max Ford, Zach Trevino, and Wyatt Thompson are still on the podium. Trevino was able to fend off Thompson there, but he was given a real close run for it. Not close enough to pass. Certainly shaking up the Trevino team. Lap 100 close to approaching. First 100 have seen quite a few yellow flags, particularly in this second stage, where the racing action has been cut short and abbreviated much of time. One to green this time around. Aaron Kovnat up to 7th, highest position he's run in today. J.J. Moore and Christian Zarate qualified at 19th and 16th respectively. Now they run 6th and 5th. Zarate in the top 5, J.J. Moore just outside of it, and Moore and Kovnat qualified 19th and 20th. Now they run in the 6th and 7th places together again after nearly half this race has come and gone. We'll get this thing going at lap number 96. iRacing pace car lets him go. And it's game on again. Green flags out. This time Trevino a little bit closer off the launch, but still can't hold the candle. Axel Smith on the outside. Just can't quite seem to match Thompson, but they are side by side. He doesn't have the inside. We'll see what he can do without it. Everyone gets by. First lap back under green with no problems. Nice move there from Trenton Wilkin. Wilkin now going to be getting back on his way up after an incident before. He currently runs in the 14th place. While he scrambles just a bit, he'll save it. Still clear pull into that 1 and 2, much better than everyone else around him. Now I'm wondering if that's because he went down to pit road. We're starting to see some drivers who have newer rubber. Trenton Wilkin going in lap 87. DJ Lyons around to the caution's out. Yellow flag. DJ Lyon this time takes the hit and gets spun. Lyon, yellow flag is out. As from 15th, he'll get turned all the way around, and the caution will fly. Lyon was able to get it back rolling, as you can see there. Number 0, with what looks like a little bit of bodywork damage, and definitely suspension. The left front is tattered. Wyatt Thompson still your leader. We have just arrived to lap 100. Halfway down, halfway to go. Wyatt Thompson scored as your leader at the line that time, and you know what that means. Pit road just got busy. Max Ford, Zach Trevino, Axel Smith, Christian Zarate, all of which deciding to come around into pit road. Thompson, for the first time tonight, will be given the lead of the field. We're about to see what he can do with it with 100 laps remaining. J.J. Moore, and Connor Blasco. These are all drivers who went down to pit road at lap 87, so about 15 laps ago. Now they're tethered to one another at the head of the pack. It's going to be a much closer fight between these guys than it might seem. They have older tire, but it's not particularly ancient. They wet it recently. I do believe with the yellow flags we've had, it's recent enough to make this a very close race. Jackson Brown given the end-of-line penalty after that one. He finds himself at the tail of the pack. 22 on the lead lap here. DJ Lyon will no longer be, as he's got significant damage. For the first time tonight, neither Ford nor Trevino will lead the way, and instead it will be Wyatt Thompson who gets away rolling. Great start for Wyatt. Now let's start to see who rolls up first. Trevino right now is side by side with Max Ford, but side by side no longer. Trevino's ahead of his biggest racing rival. He's got one bigger task ahead of him now. Get ahead of everyone that he's looking at who have track position but don't have the tire. And I tell you what, based on what we've seen, that is much easier said than done. "97 laps to go." Zach Trevino and Max Ford are both very firmly put into this upper mid-pack. They can't seem to really find a way around it. You got the number 71 of Cisneros who's blocking in the middle. Max Ford decides to go low. That might be the better call. Calvin Harvey has not moved around at all, and Trevino falls behind Ford. Max Ford takes it 3. Luckily, they all get out of that. In the meanwhile, Wyatt Thompson with no competition. Max Ford is still side by side with Trevino. Trevino puts a nose down to the inside line. Won't be enough. Ford is clear again. Now, if you're Zach Trevino, the only choice you have is to regroup. Wait for the next bundle of drivers. Both of them are faster than the drivers that they're surrounded by. So it really just becomes a matter of waiting and finding the perfect opportunity to make it by. Yellow flag is out again. Here's a look back, and we'll see what happened. Driver around, it's the 71 of Damian Cisneros. With Damian sliding, here's a closer look at why he went around. Now, he was caught in the middle of the pack. We'll slow it down in just a few moments. But he got tapped by Axel Smith and put into the wall. That as well is not a great angle. So one more time, we'll show it to you as it comes to pass. Both drivers find the outside a little bit too late. Nobody else gets involved. Two-car incident. Damian Cisneros and Axel Smith. Leading the field now is Trenton Wilkin, who started last. It appears a few drivers have called down to pit road. Wyatt Thompson, further back now. He cycles to the head of the field again. Wilkin leads his first lap of the day with 90 laps remaining. Max Ford is now 4th. Zach Trevino is 5th. So Trevino gets the slight advantage of restarting with the leaders. That'll be all he needs. Get a slightly stronger jump. And between both Ford and Trevino, the only thing so far that's been any different has been their restarting capability. Wouldn't be particularly surprised if Trevino gets the edge just because of where he is. Side by side all the way down. Brenton Wilkin, Travis Prather, Connor Blasco, and Max Ford. Top four, and a completely different look. Ford is now going to be behind it all. Zach Trevino is even a row further back. Much better jump for Trevor Wilkin. Trenton Wilkin gets the lead. Travis Prather falls behind. And Max Ford gets everything he needs. Zach Trevino with a poor start because the inside barely got going. It's advantage Ford, and by a lot. Coming out of the final corner, Ford barely holds on for second, but it looks like he is due to take that lead. 87 laps to go. Talk about a rocket ship. Max Ford, without a doubt, has the stuff to go all the way. Oh, Wilkins loose, down and in. He'll have to fall out of line really slow, and he just got taken 4 wide across the stripe. One more look at that. He was taken 3 and barely got away from it. Trenton Wilkin with a great night going, led some laps, but now falls all the way out. Last time by, he was scored in 3rd. This time he is in 17th. Back to almost square one for one of our most successful drivers on the day. A little bit of a late bloomer here. Aaron Kovnat has finally gotten up to 2nd. A driver who has struggled so far, especially comparing him to his teammates. It looks like he's, at long last, gotten right where he wants to be in the race-leading fight. This time around, he is not looking to give up. In the 213 Simware 4, last time we saw him in Atlanta, he had a top 5, even with some late race contact. And for the Kovnat crew, this is a huge opportunity. Looking for win number 1 on his season. Zach Trevino looks a little shaken after all that's happened for him, especially after that last restart, which was clearly worse than his racing rival in Max Ford. Now that he finds himself behind, the question still lies as to whether or not he has enough to get back up there to Ford. This is the longest run we've had so far since the stage break. And so if anyone's got anything for Max Ford, they better show it now. I figure that's the mentality for Aaron Kovnat, who has been slightly quicker over the last few laps, but hasn't shown us enough to say whether he clearly will take the lead or if he really clearly has a chance. Further behind, single file and long, as the yellow flag is out for the biggest wreck of the day. Before we even begin looking at this, here's a replay. Yellow is out. How did this happen? 80 laps to go. The caution flies again. This is a little far ahead at the time of the incident. Chris Parker got through. But take a look closer at a driver like the 71 to Damian Cisneros, and you'll see where everything went wrong. Not a lot of multi-car wrecks today. This definitely looks to be one of the exceptions. Side by side. Starts with the 20. So that was early contact. Then getting involved, Alexander Alvarez, the 98 of Connor Blasco. Trying to shoot the gap was Damian Cisneros. He goes around sliding. I gotta wonder what his onboard looked like. He tried to get through at full speed. A huge risk, and I don't think it paid off at all. Upstairs. And Cisneros shoots the gap. I don't know what he was thinking there. I guess he saw the opening and thought he was going to stay there, but 78 to go, and the yellow is out. I think that could have been avoided. But otherwise, the field will continue on. Ford and Trevino again are the top two as Aaron Kovnat decides to head in and will settle himself again. Side by side now with Axel Smith after dropping a few spots. It's a sacrifice, but perhaps a worthy one for Kovnat, who decides to take some tire to fall back to 11th, as opposed to currently running P2. One lap to green here, with how important new tire was for guys like Ford and Trevino. Looks like Aaron, teammate Asher Bunkley, Axel Smith, Trenton Wilkin, and a lot of other drivers have decided that they too will go in, regroup themselves, and try to front power, fight them up at the head of the field. Coming to 75 laps to go. Pace car laps will be extended, so we'll go green with 73. A little bit of a longer restart. There's now 19 are on the lead lap. Damian Cisneros is 2 laps down, continuing to get service. Pit road is busy. Nicholas Martinez, Chris Parker, DJ Lyon, Joseph Enright, Jacob Bryant, all are currently its occupants. Bryant is the last driver on the lead lap. Martinez was the second to last time by. So it appears they have the full intention getting back in business. One to green now. Max Ford and Trevino will battle again. They made it up the field. And now they've got a perfect opportunity to fight with clean air. Right behind them, Carmelo Echeverria, the highest spot he's been in, 23rd, up to 3rd. And Wyatt Thompson, who led before, is in 4th. Here we go. Great launch for Max Ford again. And really, he's been second to none in that category today. Jacob Bryant with a really slow getaway, but he doesn't touch anyone, so there's no problems. Calvin Harvey in the 90 watches as Connor Belasco gets toe-to-toe with Aaron Kovnat here. Kovnat's one of the many now on new rubber, just warming it up and getting back to business. Trying to get to the front of the field. and proving that strategy of getting new equipment late in the going is enough to succeed. Wilkin, not afraid to put his bumper there to the 54 of Kendorian Davis. 3 wide, Kavanagh. Davis blocks Blasco. 3 wide, sliding. Can they save it? It looks like yes, they will, but the caution's out. Well, they saved it, but the incident in the back, J.J. Moore causes the yellow flag. That was a fantastic save from Davis and Kavanagh, but Moore, at the same time, slid and spun. So the yellow flag was going to come out no matter what. But take a look again at what these guys were doing. Kendorian Davis, Aaron Kavanagh, and Trenton Wilkin were leaning on each other and slid all the way through turns 1 and 2. Kavanagh and Davis definitely with some damage. Wilkin not so much. But they kept it straight. Kavanagh juices down low. So these drivers are choosing where they'd like to go. Next restart. Wyatt Thompson will take second from Zach Trevino. And honestly, I think that is going to benefit Zach Trevino. What he can do now is follow the driver of the number 11, Ford, and take himself back to the front as they start in the same line. Heading to 1 to green real soon here. Max Ford, Wyatt Thompson, Zach Trevino, the top 3. Haven't spoken a lot about that man in the middle of it all. Wyatt Thompson. Thompson so far is 8th in the championship points with 3 playoff points to his name. As it stands, he has 1 pole position, no wins, and 1 top 5 with 4 top 10s. 119 laps led, however, and he'll add a couple of those to his accolades as he's led a few today. Thompson, one of the best drivers this season that is yet to win a race. The highest in points without a win is your 4th place man as it stands. That is Tyler Helms. But it could very well be Thompson who snaps the winlessness and becomes another one of those top 10 guys to take the checkered flag at least once so far this season. He and Kavanagh have a similar goal in that regard, as this time around, Wyatt Thompson will be a line leader. Zach Trevino, interestingly, is on the bottom again, so on the opposite line of X Ford. I don't know if that's going to work out well for him. Green flag's out, and Thompson is outclassed full on. Is on the outside line. Look who gets away. Christian Zarate up to 2nd. Green flag's out again. Trevino falls back to 4th. And we are back all the way with 66 laps to go. Crunch time is now as the checkered flag slowly but surely approaches. Kavanagh loose. He'll fall back to Prather. Travis Prather gets the spot. Axel Smith makes it by Prather for the 6th position. Asher Bunkley now leading the KDR fleet again. Bunkley with some notable rear end damage. Take a look on the backside of Trevino, and you'll see that the 79 is pounded in on the nose. But that doesn't seem to be enough to stop 79. Bunkley now looks low, can't put the nose in. Trevino's now trying to defend a top 5 placement as he gets to Christian Zarate's side. Looks like Wyatt Thompson is also getting closer to leader Max Ford. Coming across the line again. Still 2 by 2. Trevino is side by side with Cerrone. Bunkley is right there with Axel Smith. And not a one of them have... Oh, Aaron Kovnat. Kovnat will go around. So will Prather. Big wreck. Prather gets involved with the 17. And the 20 of Chris Parker. Yellow flag is out. Biggest caution of the day by far. It began just ahead of Prather. We'll slow it down as he got into Aaron Kovnat. Kovnat got back into him, slid up the track, and he heads right toward Connor Blasco out of control. Chris Parker gets contact. So does Trenton Wilkin. The 54, Kendorian Davis, drifts out of the way. And I think Davis is able to avoid it thanks to a perfectly timed slide. Watch on board here with Kendorian Davis. Chris Parker, Travis Prather, Aaron Kovnat involved in that incident, as well as Connor Blasco. Davis got tagged by Kovnat, slid, and missed most of the contact because Kovnat turned him around. Good fortune for Kendorian Davis. Now approaching the 50 lap to go marker. The checkered flag closely approaches. Gotta wonder what exactly can happen here. As we get ready for the last set of laps. While the aggression has been high all day, it's been, for the most part, a large majority of drivers either inadvertently getting with each other without intention or single car spins. Now, as we get very close to the checkered flag, maybe it'll get more intentional. That's something to look out for even at the front of the field. Max Ford and Wyatt Thompson have not made any instance of contact yet. They very well could. Zach Trevino falls back to a green flag stint low of 7th. Your stage winner is floundering as of late. To the green flag. Watch now as Ford and Thompson joust against one another. Good launch from the outside. Asher Bunkley looking for second. Green's out for 57 laps remaining. Now it appears Asher Bunkley has enough speed to take second. He will clear and get it. Axel Smith is fourth. Kendorian Davis is fifth. Davis drops to the bottom side. And he'll block again Nicholas Martinez. Zach Trevino has a lot more work to do now than he has had all race long. Ford has become the clear-cut favorite for the win. And with that, Trevino has fallen somewhat by the wayside. You got to imagine in this position, Trevino is rather irritated. Oh, contact! Trevino is taken up the track by Christian Cerrone. The caution's out, and Martinez is a casualty of the incident as well. That's a race changer. Big race-changing moment as Cerrone makes contact with the 16, and Martinez also gets hooked into it. One more time now. They found each other, and Zarate just misses and overshoots his mark. As Trevino heads upstairs, and Martinez also gets a piece of it. On board with Zach Trevino. And one more time, we'll do it on board with Christian Zarate. Yeah, he shot it a little hard in that corner, without a doubt. Zarate, Trevino, and Martinez all involved as Martinez now makes it down to pit road. And it appears Zach Trevino has already gotten there. Asher Bunkley leads the way. Asher Bunkley is now your leader, as a matter of fact. With Thompson in second, KDR is a shot to get back to victory lane in a big way. Bunkley so far in the season is 23rd in points. 7 starts, 1 top 5, and 1 top 10. Bunkley has been solid, but it doesn't appear anything special has come out of the 79 season so far, but that could absolutely change. Wyatt Thompson had a fantastic race last night in the UIS Contender Series at this venue, leading all but 2 laps. So it's not a surprise that he's up here, but Asher, maybe a little bit more surprised with little track record of being amazing at Richmond. And all of a sudden, it is the 79 team's race. Kovnat is in 13th. Tyler Helms is out of this one in 23rd. KDR is spread apart. But at long last, Asher Bunkley is leading the way. Another new leader late in the going. Max Ford is down to 8th. Trevino is way down now to 14th. It looks a whole lot different. We get back to work now. Bunkley's got the lead. 50 laps to go. It's side by side in the Hornet's Nest with Trent Wilkin taking it 3 wide below. Still 3 wide. It is a firm surprise to see Trenton Wilkin is having a top 5 night after missing the start of this race, missing practice, and missing qualifying, and yet it appears he has done just enough to become one of the most competitive. Asher Bunkley was black flagged. Bunkley given a black flag, I believe that is a restart violation. The 79 is going to have to roll into pit road and soon. And Asher does. Asher Bunkley for the lead is penalized and falls out of the top spot. It's going to be a drive-through. And the 79 crew will go around. And a horrible moment for Karloff Deitch Racing, as from the lead, they will bottle it. Yellow flags out. Saving grace for Bunkley. That is a miracle for that team as Max Ford goes around. One of the titans of this race for 100+ laps. Much like Trevino has found his day. It looks like this was a bit of contact. Getting into Condorian Davis from the backside and spinning around. At first, you might have thought that it was Jackson Brown who delivered that contact from the viewing angle, but no. Max Ford spins. Everyone drops in. There's Aaron Kovnat. Perfectly timed penalty for Asher Bunkley. Although Bunkley does go one lap down. So a long hold for Bunkley, but not under green. Which means that yes, there is a perfect chance for the driver of the number 79 to get back on the lead lap and stay competitive. .45 laps remaining now. Bunkley scored 2 laps down, so it appears that will no longer be possible. Even with the caution, a nightmare scenario for the 79 team. And Dorian Davis given the yellow flag's end-of-line penalty, causing the incident. And now Wyatt Thompson with a chance to bring it home. Looking to go for back-to-back victories yesterday and today. And all of a sudden it looks very possible, given that Ford, Trevino, and Bunkley have all suffered recent problems. Final lap under yellow. As we see 1 to green, it is 42 laps to go as the green flag drops again. Double file. Headed again by Wyatt Thompson. The green flag's out. Axel Smith on the inside cannot nearly hold a candle. And J.J. Moore takes second. Now that is remarkable. Moore in the highest spot he's been in all race, as is Jacob Bryant. Remember again, Bryant is fighting for a playoff spot and looking for his first top 10 of the season. In a race that has become about the survival of the fittest, Bryant just might have himself a perfect ticket to a successful run. Wyatt Thompson here, leading the way with J.J. Moore still there. Moore to the inside, looking to make the pass for the lead. Right alongside, and at the line again, still can't quite do it, but J.J. Moore puts the pressure, dives deep. It's side by side for the lead again. Side by side for third as well, with Trenton Wilkin and Axel Smith. Wilkin gets P3, little bit of contact, a nudge up the track. Wyatt Thompson is taken high. J.J. Moore gets the lead. Only now for last place starter Trenton Wilkin to look even further low. 3 wide for the top spot. Wilkin is there. He just can't quite get it. Max Ford. 3 wide for second. He isn't able to hold it either. That's great news for J.J. Moore. Everyone else distracted. Wilkin goes around. Yellow flag is out. Trenton Wilkin from second spins, and the caution is flying again. Spinning when it matters most, unfortunately, from the highest of a high for Trenton Wilkin. He'll go back to all but square one again as he drops out of the podium. .36 to go. J.J. Moore is your leader. Only 35 laps will remain as we see the iRacing official pace car fly through. Max Ford is up to second. And he's gotten by Wyatt Thompson, so it appears Thompson's best shot is behind him as he heads to pit road. Ford and Bryant second and third. Jacob Bryant in the highest position he's been in all day, looking for a career best finish. He can hold it out. .33 to go when we see the start-finish line for another green flag run. The lead lap only has 17 drivers on it. Chris Parker getting back up to the leaders, as is Aaron Kovnat. Zach Trevino is still fighting to get back in the top 10. It has been a challenging past 50 laps for that 16 team. Still on the bleeding edge of the lead lap with a chance to get back up in the fight, but it is not going to be as easy as it was those first 50. Asher Bunkley back up to 9th after falling 2 laps down. Even though it's a nightmare scenario to fall under, the fact Bunkley is back goes to show that caution was perfectly timed. Give the 79 team one more opportunity. It'll be 32 to go. We say hello to the green flag. Just 32 more laps. Green flag's out. Max Ford falters. J.J. Moore gets the jump. Now that was the start he needed. Moore gets away with it. And for J.J. Moore, that is a season-defining launch. So far this season, Moore has absolutely no track record behind him. Talking about the points game, which is something we've discussed all throughout the season, Moore is making his first start on the Cup Series campaign and could begin his tenure with a big win if he is, of course, to grab the checkered flag tonight. Max Ford chasing, and now he's in the catbird seat having to drive it back. And hopefully, for his sake, get it a little bit closer to 35. Ford is there, but J.J. Moore is remarkably quick. Everyone else has been left in the dust. Zach Trevino in the top 10. Nicholas Martinez, 7th place, gets right by the 96 of Jackson Brown. .28 laps to go. And either we're in the home stretch and we see it go to the green all the way, or we have a couple more stops and starts to it. Side by side for second. Wyatt Thompson is back. He'll slide low. He'll force his way in for second. Now he'll take the lead. Double trouble. And a buy one, get one free pass for Wyatt Thompson. J.J. Moore slides out of the lead. The caution's out. Wow. The dramatic flair of this race continues. Moore trying as hard as he could, gives it just a bit too much. Loose out of 4, hit by Axel Smith, and the caution's out. Can't believe what we've been seeing tonight. That was 110% effort from every driver. But I will tell you this much. After 100%, there is very little that a driver can control. So too much effort can become as big an issue as not enough effort, because you never know what you're going to get out of that extra ounce. The driver's shaky late in the going, it shows. Zach Trevino 3rd, Damian Cisneros 4th, Max Ford P5 he decides to drop down to pit road to get some new tire. Coming to 1 to green if the yellow flag is not extended. And it looks like a slight extension will be provided for all drivers here. Next time we go green, we're going to crank it up with our friends at Whiplash SimCams, iRacing's premier camera provider. There's no better place to go to get your broadcasting cameras upgraded on iRacing than Whiplash. Visit their Facebook at WSimCams, and you can check out their entire social media portfolio, or go to whiplash-media.com. And there you can find the access to their Discord server where you can order all the cameras you need. And not to mention, besides that, you can also get free camera packs as a trial to test out their stuff. If you like it, everything's available for $5 per car or track pack. And if you don't, that's entirely fine. Nevertheless, thank you to Whiplash SimCams for bringing the next level of sim racing immersion and broadcast coverage. We'll crank it up next time by with 21 laps to go. We say hello to the green flag again. And you might have noticed the bottom scoring ticker has been updated to provide real live time data for major sports leagues such as Major League Baseball, NBA, National Football League, and we'll be bringing on the weekend some stock car racing coverage into our action on FTN. So take a look at that bottom side, developed by Alexander Balderas and the team here at FTN. Major thank you to him for bringing it to life. We're looking for more and more immersive action here on FTN, and it begins with a moment like this. 21 laps to go. Race lead hangs in the balance between Wyatt Thompson and Nicholas Martinez. Now let's crank it up. Brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Yellow flag, Bunkley, Max Ford involved. The caution will fly again. Bunkley from 7th that time was involved. Max Ford in P7, he was fighting for it. He just barely got there before he slid up by Bunkley. Contact with Calvin Harvey brings out the yellow flag again. Yeah, just a shunt from Bunkley, and Bunkley far oversteps the corner, hits the 90 of Calvin Harvey. I don't think either of those drivers are going to be particularly happy with the man in the 79. That was harsh. I don't know what else to say about it besides harsh, simply put. Before the 20 of Chris Parker gets involved, barely avoids the outside wall. He did a great job of avoiding it. But Bunkley, man, oh man. Not the best series in 1 and 2 there. Looked like a small nudge, but still could not avoid that final contact with Calvin Harvey. "17 laps remaining. It's going to be a short shootout to decide who ends up the winner of this one. What's very likely is that we see the overtime if we have a yellow flag within the final 5 laps. The way this race has been going, it wouldn't be particularly surprising, but I don't think any driver here wants to see that as the case. Wyatt Thompson, who dominated last night's race at Richmond, is close. He was not the dominant driver to start this race. Not even during the midpoint did he seem to be the strongest. But all of a sudden, he has been surviving, and it proves to be often survival of the fittest. So now it's not much a surprise that he's still around, whereas the rest of the field that he was contending with have either seen damage or have fallen out and retired outright. Getting back to business, with Wyatt Thompson leading and 14 laps remaining. Green flag's out, and it is all Wyatt Thompson. Nicholas Martinez slots in a second. Zach Trevino is back in third. And one of the longtime contenders has finally found his way. They're 3 wide for 4th behind him. Trenton Wilkin can't quite make it stick. Instead, Damian Cisneros gets the better out of he and Axel Smith all at once. Not a big surprise to see that Martinez is still behind. He's gotten close, but has not had the opportunity to get there. Wyatt Thompson looking strong, and now the defense is as good as it gets. Yellow's out. Caution. J.J. Moore involved, it appears. And here's a look back. A dozen to do it. We'll have less than 10 laps when we decide to go green. Moore got loose and slides. Looked like he slid alone. Everyone else got away. Asher Bunkley will retire from this race. And it appears that call will be made independent of J.J. Moore. Last time we saw Bunkley was the previous caution, as you see right there. Yellow's out. 11 to go. Wyatt Thompson, moments away from what perhaps could be his very first win of the season. Stakes are high with Nicholas Martinez behind him, who could be the first, or rather the second, 3-time winner of this campaign. Nicholas Martinez, P2. Points leader, Zach Trevino, who looks to be poised again for a top 10. A record 9th top 10 on the season in 9 races. And he will, if he finishes third, extend his championship lead over the rest of the field. no guarantee for Trevino to hold on. But given the night he's had, it has not been easy. Looks like he has outlasted Max Ford, who is down on pit road and scraping himself back into solid condition. One to green, 8 to go. It's Martinez getting a second chance on the inside line of this front row. Best opportunity he's had today, but the leader has been almost impossible to beat on these restarts. Save for the opening start, just wasn't possible. But now, they're side by side. Martinez holds a candle. They're dead even in a 1 and 2. Nicholas Martinez leads. Trevino will follow a hard-charging Wyatt Thompson. Thompson decides to go low, sticks it all the way in there. He'll get away with it. In the meanwhile, it's toe-to-toe again. Thompson, Martinez. Nicholas Martinez is high. Wyatt Thompson reigns on the bottom side here. Look on board now with Axel Smith. Smith is also in the fight, and he's got a great view. Thompson up high. The number 2 slides out of contention. Wyatt still together, but he just got shipped up the track with some door-to-door contact. In the meantime, Nicholas Martinez will fade into second. Trenton Wilkin. Zach Trevino is your leader. And through the contact, Trevino avoids it all and takes the advantage. 5 laps to go. The man who started second and the man who started dead last are now running top 2. Nicholas Martinez is still trying to hold on for third here. Axel Smith giving him a very hard time on the bottom. They're not done yet. Neither is the rest of the field. Aaron Comnott gets up to 9th. Wyatt Thompson, after dominating last night and looking poised to win it again, falls out. Oh, contact. We're going to overtime. Chris Parker spins. It'll be a 2-lap shootout brought on by Parker wrecking. 3 wide. Parker into Kendorian Davis. And the yellow flag is out. Parker doing a great job avoiding most of that damage, I believe, as he taps the wall but does not slam it. Watch this. Chris should be good to continue, as this is our first of up to 5 green-white checkered attempts available. So, we have up to 4 cautions left until the race is forcibly stopped. If we get to the white flag, the race is official. A 2-lap shootout will now be led by Zach Trevino, your Stage 1 winner. Who finally has a shot at the head of the pack for the first time in this stage. He fell back, without a doubt, the bottom part of the top 10. Now all of a sudden has one last shot to seal the deal, and for Trevino, this would be big, his 3rd win of the season, with time for the most of anyone on the schedule. Championship lead will be the biggest it's been all year long. 1 to green, 2 laps, 1.5 miles. That's the difference maker between victory and defeat in Richmond. Zach Trevino led the opening 50 laps flag to flag, and now all of a sudden, the race is entrusted in him again. Question becomes, does he outdo Trenton Wilkin? Wilkin's on the inside and looks to be one of the stronger drivers in this field, even though he started dead last. Martinez and Axel Smith have been supporting characters in this fight for the last 25 laps. They won't look to give up either, but it's all Zach Trevino. Green flags out. First overtime attempt of the day. He is far away into 1 and 2 for what could be the final time. One more lap to go. No incident on the penultimate circuit. Zach Trevino is ahead. Trenton Wilkin, still trying to complete the last to first challenge, is side by side with Axel Smith, and he looks to be just a bit faster. Wilkin, clear of Axel Smith, gets crossed over. They'll have to fight each other for second. The perfect distraction for Zach Trevino. Win number 3 for the 16. Your points leader is the winningest man on the UIS Cup Tour. Zach Trevino wins the stage, wins at Richmond. Not an easy night for that 16. And he earned this victory and then some. Time to burn it down and celebrate a huge third win on the campaign. A fantastic drive for Zach Trevino sees him collect the race victory. We'll be right back with post-race coverage and interviews from your podium after this message from our friends at iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Zach Trevino survives the final green-white checker to win with 61 laps led and extend his championship advantage. Trenton Wilkin started this race 1 lap down and even still finishes second with Axel Smith third, Nicholas Martinez fourth, and Calvin Harvey P5. Wyatt Thompson goes sixth with Damian Cisneros seventh. Eighth is Max Ford, Jackson Brown is ninth, and Joseph Enright wraps up the top 10. Next on the day, 11th place Aaron Kovnat with Chris Parker 12th, Kendorian Davis 13th, Connor Blasco 14th, Jacob Bryant 15th, and J.J. Moore 16th, with Travis Plattner, Carmelo Echeverria, Alexander Alvarez, and DJ Lyon concluding the top 20. Your final drivers on the day: Tyler Helms, Logan Brink, Asher Bunkley, Jose Aguilar Lopez, Christian Zarate, William Johnston, and Maxwell Funderburk to conclude 27 who started. And Zach Trevino takes the stage and takes the overall victory. So for him, not a perfect night. It was a hard-fought second stage, but when all is said and done, he gets the result he needs. Zach Trevino, win number 3, puts you tied for first on the season. And of course, your points lead grows further. Big win for you tonight.
Yeah, huge win. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Now, first and foremost, you got the job done in the first stage, and you seem to be very dominant there. So how is that for you?
Yeah, that first stage felt amazing. The car was driving how I wanted to. It was neutral. Had no issues, especially in dirty areas. Just I was able to drive it into the corner so good and just roll center. So it was. I love the car and track tonight, but we just couldn't get green flag racing in.
Now, the question becomes, of course, yes, green flag racing, not a lot of it. That second stage, you didn't start as the leader. How much do you feel that affected you?
It definitely affected me a lot. I got dumped and just I followed Martinez into pits. We were working together, and I mean it paid off. Whatever we did, I just got to thank Martinez for getting us on a strategy there. He told me when to pit, when not to. So.
Now, of course, one final restart, that was the difference maker. How were you at all nervous about what was going on behind? And if you were, how nervous were you? Because it was close till the end, and it took you those final 2 turns to just get away.
Yeah, Trenton and Axel were like right there. I only took 2 tires, and I had to drive 30 laps with that. So, yeah, I got a little bit scared because Trenton was keeping up with me, but overall, I mean, I'd say I was one of the fastest guys out there tonight.
And without a doubt, another strong performance for this number 16 team. 3rd win. This puts you at the top of the championship standings, even firmer than you were before. And this sets you up with a bigger advantage than you've ever had this season. So the question becomes, what's up next for the 16 team? Of course, championship race keeps on moving. Next race we go to, a crown jewel on the schedule, it's Pocono. How do you feel about your chances there?
Oh, I'm excited for Pocono because I'm one of the Dash for Cash drivers, and if I finish in front of people that are in the Dash for Cash, I'll get $20. So I'm excited for Pocono. I love that track too.
Trevino, P1 on the day from Richmond. Another huge victory with the stage win as well. Any final shout-outs you'd like to send?
Yeah, I want to thank Precision Speed Solutions for having me as a house driver, Chad Dubala and Jose for watching the stream, probably. And I want to thank James, all my teammates, Alex, Logan, Damien, all of them helping me tonight, Martinez especially. And yeah, that's about it.
Zach Trevino gets the job done, winning in overtime at Richmond. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Trevino holds his own, takes the win, and tonight, the story of Trenton Wilkins' race was all but exactly the opposite. He started this race 1 lap down, didn't even get on the field to begin with these guys, got the lucky dog immediately, and shot up the field from all the way in the back. Trenton, 2nd place. It was a race of highs and lows, and you made your way up there.
Yeah, without race was no practice at all. So I was like very surprised with the speed, but then just able to get some more comfort with the car. I felt like we did have a top 5 car the entire time. It's just didn't get the opportunities, or as you would say, we lost talent while we were up there, but we were on older tires anyways. We were going to get eaten alive, but really glad to see this Debbie Camry get up there.
Now, first and foremost, the race for you starting at the back of the field, you say no practice, no qualifying. What for you clicked to make this car so fast in terms of getting up the field regardless?
I just felt like being able to use multiple lanes, and then a lot of people getting very trigger happy on running the top, and then the bottom being able to roll. pretty well. I would say some wrecks helped, but I felt like we moved our way, especially on the first long run. We got all the way up to almost 15th, and that was just pure speed. And I knew we had some tire life left to use, so it was just mainly just also just like you getting into the corners, the downshifting. I felt like it this matched with it, able to like go up the corner, come down, diamond in the corners. It wasn't just a bottom heavy or just a top heavy. You were able to whatever you were able to get with comfortability wise, you were able to run.
Now, all things considered, you also had yourself a fair few close calls. There was a lot of incidents on the track tonight. You found yourself close to or in a few of them. How did you recover?
I'll just say patience. That is something that we've been learning a lot this year. Is just getting to be a lot more patient, give and take what was going to be. If that last caution before the green light checker, I mean, we ended up second, but I was going to be happy with the second place. I was looking forward to racing for the win, but you know, just honestly, sometimes the luck. I mean, me getting loose about wrecking, that's honestly luck with no one running into me. And then just the other times cars wrecking in front of me. I mean, I did get ran into, but luckily it wasn't like much damage, like 30 seconds. But all in all, I feel like some luck with it, but just more being patient when it came to it.
But with that said, second place, a great result before we head into Pocono next week. Trenton Wilkin, any final shout-outs or comments you'd like to send?
I appreciate you guys for your broadcast, and then shout out to our new sponsor, Dubby. Use code COASTANARY, get you 10% off. But love the broadcast that you guys are doing. Look forward to Pocono next week. Trying to go for 3 in a row since 3 seasons in a row of winning at Pocono. So hopefully we're able to capitalize on that.
Trenton Wilkin with a long line of success for next week's venue, but a great last to second performance here today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Wilkin exceeds expectations. Axel Smith had a night that was as troubling as it was successful, and in all considerations, starting in fourth, finishing third, maybe not too unexpected on the score sheet, but this was a hard race to make that stick, Axel.
Yeah, I just first off, I just want to say that was it was a pretty big wreck fest, I'd say, that race, but that was definitely my best UIS Precision Cup race ever. My last top 5 finish, and my only top 5 finish because it's I'm a rookie this season. I got 4th at Milwaukee Mile, but I wasn't really a top 5 car, I wouldn't say. I was a top 10 car for sure that race, but I just got I got a lot of luck, and that just put me in that 4th place. And for this race, I think I had a lot of pace. In the long run, I was really bad, I'll be honest. You could probably see early in the race, I thought hugging the bottom was the line to tire save, but everybody that was running the middle were just freaking running away from me. So in the long run, I wasn't really good, but I could cut up the traffic in the short run. I wasn't the cleanest, I would say, but I got the job done. I didn't really wreck anybody, I don't think. This race I had way more pace, and it was way more deserved top 5, let alone I got a top 3. So very thankful for that.
Now I gotta wonder, not a lot of long green flag runs today. Do you feel that this car would have shined a little bit more if the laps went on without so many cautions?
Yeah, you could definitely see if it was a very long run, like a 50, 60, 70 lap run, you could see the people that tire saved, they would just go around the people that didn't. For example, the beginning of the race with me, I kind of was letting them by, but the people that were tire saving compared to me, they were so much faster. So it would have been much more down about tires and also pit strategy, because it would have been green flag pit stops. And I think the only green flag pit stops this race was people serving their drive-throughs. So it's a lot of caution fests, a lot of cautions that I don't even know. It was probably pushing 20 cautions this race. I don't know the exact number, but that just made it so it was way more packed up racing. And a lot more people got a lot more damage, and also a lot more people got a lot more damage fixed. So, it created some different racing. Well, this isn't the first time it's happened in this league, but still, that's beside the point. It was different racing, but unfortunate to everybody that got wrecked out. Like, that was like good. Like, I just want to say Logan Brink. He was up there, and then I don't even know what happened. I saw in my rear view he was flying. It might have looked different on the broadcast, but he hit the wall a ton. So, it's just a lot. Some luck played to get me into this third place, but luck is needed everywhere. So, I'm thankful. That was a good race.
Huge performance for the 26 crew. Axel Smith will head to Pocono next week, but before we do, any final messages you'd like to send to the crowd at home? It's all yours.
Yeah, thank you to my dad for taking me to Atlanta today. Thank you to all my family if they're watching, and thank you for broadcasting. I bet this was a pretty interesting race to broadcast.
Axel Smith wraps up the podium, going from 4th to 3rd here at Richmond Raceway. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Smith gets the job done. The checkered flag is his for 3rd. 2nd is Trenton Wilkin, and Zach Trevino. He gets the job done for his 3rd win of the season. A big one here from the virtual Richmond Raceway. Thank you for tuning in to today's coverage live on FTN Broadcasting. We'll be back next week with the Pocono Raceways action in the UIS Cup Series. And of course, next weekend, it'll be a doubleheader with the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series also on FTN at the same time. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, commentating and producing. I'm David Troitz. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Congratulations to driver number 16, Zach Trevino, on a big win tonight, his 3rd of the season. Thank you for tuning in from the virtual Richmond Raceway. We'll see you next week. Have a fantastic night.